Dragon Ball Daima is here with a bang, folks. But does this mean that Dragon Ball Super is being relegated to the role of mere filler? The question is inevitable. With this new release, should we forget everything that happened in Super? Today, we'll dig deep into the hints that suggest Daima is here to take center stage, potentially leaving Dragon Ball Super in the background. Get ready to dive deep into this universe and understand the changes that could shape the future of the franchise. Honestly, I never imagined Dragon Ball Daima would be so good that it would almost make me overlook the significance of Dragon Ball Super. The truth is, Daima has arrived with such intensity that it makes me forget some of the loose ends and continuity issues. However, I know that Dragon Ball Super holds a special place for many fans. Super was a powerhouse anime that rekindled the Dragon Ball flame for a new generation, bringing epic battles and expanding the universe with gods of destruction, new Saiyans, and grand tournaments. To understand what Dragon Ball Super represented and how Daima might be surpassing that legacy, we need to go back in time a bit. In 2008, when Dragon Ball seemed to have been set aside after the end of Dragon Ball GT, the movie The Return of Goku and His Friends was released, bringing the Saiyan back to the spotlight. While not a direct continuation of GT, this film reignited fans' passion and showed that Dragon Ball still had much to offer. But what really moved the franchise was the release of Dragon Ball Evolution in 2009, which, well, almost erased Dragon Ball from the map. With a problematic storyline and a production that didn't respect the series' legacy, Dragon Ball Evolution deeply angered fans. But coming back to the impact Dragon Ball Evolution had, it's essential to understand what it represented. This film was a disaster for the franchise, so much so that it angered not only fans, but also Toei Animation and Akira Toriyama, who saw the need to restore Dragon Ball's reputation. In response, in 2013, Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods was released, a movie that brought the franchise back to the top. In it, we were introduced to new characters like Beerus and Whis, who brought the concept of gods of destruction. This film cost around $5 million and made over $50 million, a huge success that made it clear Dragon Ball was back, stronger than ever. With the success of Battle of Gods, Toei decided to expand the Dragon Ball universe with new productions. Then came Resurrection of Frieza, another film that was even more profitable, bringing in around $64 million. Dragon Ball was becoming a true money machine. Thus, in 2015, Dragon Ball Super was born. Super brought what seemed to be the definitive story after Dragon Ball Z, exploring events that unfolded directly after Battle of Gods and Resurrection of Frieza. Dragon Ball Super captivated millions of fans worldwide. It managed to capture the spirit of Dragon Ball Z, expanding the universe with new sagas, characters, and powers. We saw the Tournament of Power, the arrival of Jiren, transformations like Super Saiyan Blue and Ultra Instinct, each one taking Goku and Vegeta's powers to absurd new levels. Super reintroduced Dragon Ball to global pop culture, ensuring the franchise remained relevant for both new and old fans. But now it seems Daima is changing that narrative. Dragon Ball Daima debuts with a very clear focus. It takes place chronologically right after the Majin Buu saga, completely ignoring the events of Dragon Ball Super. And this is confusing many fans. For instance, one of Daima's opening scenes shows that the separation between Kibito and Kaioshin was caused by a gas produced by Majin Buu. This directly contradicts what we saw in Super, where the Dragon Porunga undid the fusion. Another puzzling point is the use of the instant transmission technique. In Daima, instant transmission is treated as an ability exclusive to Kibito, whereas in Super, Kaioshin also uses it without Kibito's help. These details show a clear disconnect between the events of Super and the new universe Daima is building. And of course, one thing that stands out is the animation quality in Daima. Despite its iconic moments, Dragon Ball Super was heavily criticized for its inconsistent animation quality in various parts. Remember those scenes that became memes for being so poorly animated? It was as if they were rushing to release episodes on time, and quality suffered. Meanwhile, Daima kicks off with an impeccable visual production. Every detail is polished, showing that Toei is investing heavily in this new production. This reinforces the impression that Daima was made to be the new, canonical Dragon Ball. Another important point is Akira Toriyama's involvement. Dragon Ball Super was supervised by him, but it never seemed to have the same level of dedication we saw in Dragon Ball Z. Super had a more commercial tone, focusing heavily on fights and transformations, but without the same narrative depth. Sure, the battles were epic and thrilling, but let's be honest, Super is more about action than story. Daima, on the other hand, appears to have a more structured storyline, bringing back that essence that captivated fans during the Z era. And it's precisely this difference that may have led Toei to focus more on Daima than on Super. So the question remains, has Dragon Ball Super turned into filler in all of this? Was Super just a commercial response to the success of Battle of Gods and Resurrection of Frieza, without the intention of truly expanding Dragon Ball's universe? Daima, with its coherent narrative and superior animation quality, seems to be showing that, for Toei and Toriyama, this is the legitimate continuation of Dragon Ball. And if that's the case, maybe Super was just an introduction to bring Dragon Ball back into popularity. So, are you already watching Dragon Ball Daima? It's available on Crunchyroll and Netflix. It's amazing, so don't miss it. We're already on episode 4, and soon there'll be even more action and epic fights. And before you go, don't forget to subscribe here on the channel and hit the notification bell. That way, you stay on top of everything happening in pop culture and anime. Thanks so much for watching until the end. You're amazing. See you in the next video. See ya!